Live right now.
I am pulling up my opening Zoom. You should be getting something from me real quick.
What? We're gonna use my Zoom.
No. I'm talking about open the Zoom link that you have.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I
Watching it.
see you and I hear you. So if uh if anything gets too weird. All right, boom. All right, so now I'm gonna share it. Share to some groups real quick. Because we got like 30 seconds. Post, share, share to group, proven by Ruben, post, share. um let's see, share to page, boom, publish, share. I'm gonna keep on sharing. Let's see what else. What else? Share to your story. Sure, let's just share the story. I'm down with that. Boom. Share. So I'm sharing like crazy. Let me get back out of this. How are you feeling, man? How are you feeling?
And I'm good. I am good. It's a good Wednesday morning.
Oh
So
yeah?
yeah, man. Yeah. It's always good. I'm in a different time zone, so I'm central, so I'm an hour before you, but it doesn't
Oh,
matter. Still
okay.
up and grinding.
Yeah, man. That means you know what? I like being on the East Coast because we get started early. We get started early, way before y'all.
No doubt. No doubt.
All
Love it.
right. Let's share to the mastermind real quick. The mastermind, the Orlando mastermind group that we're in. I just did that. In case anybody wants to share it there. I'm gonna probably share this in one more spot. Let me see. And then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Or not. Maybe we just get started. Man, let's just get started. All right. So I got this open. So anybody who's watching, hit a heart. Anybody who's watching, leave a comment. Say what's up to Mr. 100% guy. Mr. William here today. He's going to be dropping some bombs today. So I want to make sure that you guys can see him, hear him. And once I start getting the thumbs up, we'll go ahead and get started. But yeah, hit a heart, share this thing. You could win some merchandise. Don't complain about what you tolerate. Some of the new merchandise out. And I just put out some more merchandise today. It says trust hard work. It's pretty cool stuff. Either way. Yep,
I
I'm
saw.
seeing some hearts. So what's up, brother? If you could, man, if you could, just go ahead and get started. People waiting. People been waiting. Just go ahead and get started. And if you could, tell the world who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz.
Yeah, man. First of all, appreciate you having me on here. Really do. Yeah, man, you're my guy. So, I always want to share anything I can with you and your audience. And I know you've been on with my audience as well. So I love it. I love it. So William Mahan, I'm in the Oklahoma City market. Yeah, I've been an agent since 2014. And once I got going that first year, man, I kind of got some traction and just really never looked back. Just went really hard, committed to the system, and just went all in. And so I spent my first few years with Keller Williams. Really got a really good foundation of how to grow and run a real estate business with their models and everything that they're coaching and teaching, which was amazing. Was a really good foundation of my business. And then just took that and found EXP, found Micah Moody, and transferred my business over there, and really never looked back from there either. Just continued the same systems and models and added a little bit here and there with the EXP systems, and continue to grow my business. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, is just on that growth. A little bit different now, what that looks like, but still the same mentality of just grow.
Right. So, there's going to be people that are watching that are kind of newish to real estate. What would you say was that thing? Because it sounded like, your first year, you just didn't look back. Like you were just
Right.
going for it. You were crushing it. You didn't look back. What put you in that position, or what are the things that you focused on in your first year that other people could use and implement copy
Copy.
or what could they copy to where they're going to be in that same position to where they got their head down, they're grinding, they're doing what they have to do and not really looking back? What would you tell that first year agent?
Yeah, man. Honestly, lead gen, right? Find a source, find something. Whether you're lead genning to first-time home buyers, whether you're lead genning to investors, listings, I don't care what it is. Just find something, one thing, maybe two, but really focus on one source and just go hard on that source. Whether it's door knocking, whether it's, picking up the phone and calling from 9 to 11, whatever it is, just do it consistently and just go all in, go hard with it. And follow up, right? My biggest thing with new agents is follow up. They don't, it takes 7, 8, 10 times to reach out to someone. Those one and done, those two and done agents, the people who are on it 7, 8 times, they win every single time. So I would say find one source, find a way to reach that source, and then just do it consistently, every day, consistently, and then follow up after that, right? Because there's no point in making those calls or going door knocking or doing whatever you're going to do if you're not going to follow up. There's just no point in doing it because you're not going to win. There's just no, right? So you got to have the
100%.
mentality of go hard and then go hard on my follow up.
Hey, if you guys agree with that, hit a heart. Let me know also in the comments what your one thing is. What are you focusing on? I do want to ask you 2 questions, but before we get there, for anybody who's watching, if you don't mind, how much, what is so people understand who they're listening to, what was your volume or units of last year, all-time record, if you want to touch on that, and then maybe your team environment, your business structure, what does it look like?
Yeah. So, I consistently over the past 5 years, 25, $1 million producer consistently. We top 30 1 year, consistently 25 though, just on a consistent basis.
Okay.
My team structure with Keller Williams and then moving my first year over to EXP, it was myself as a team leader. I had 2 admin, 3 buyers agents, and we ran that model for a few years, just going really hard. So I left Keller Williams with that same model and then moved it over to EXP, and we continued that for the first year and a half I was with EXP. Since then, I have turned all of my agents into solo agents. With EXP, they have so many amazing things that benefit solo agents. So I turned them into solo agents. But honestly, Ruben, we still acted like a team, man. Like I was still sharing leads. I was still supporting them. We were still having meetings. We were still running like a team. We just moved over to solo agents. That I allowed them to be able to maximize their splits. And, they didn't have to split anything with me on their business, but if they needed leads or needed support, I was here for them on that as well. And it worked really, really well. And I still continue to do that with agents. So
Awesome.
I still operate as a team, but just a little bit different than your traditional standard team setup.
Yeah, same. I went a little crazy on traditional real estate team building as well. Sounds like we're almost doing something similar, but I want to back up. So one question real quick, how fast were you able to hit that 25 million-ish producer? Like how long did it take you?
2 years.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
2 years. All right. And then my next question, which is awesome because I want to go back to what you said. You said focus on the one thing, lead gen thing. So what was your focus, one lead gen thing that got you that 25 in 2 years? Investors.
I'll tell you a quick story how I got into it. When I first got in, I was running around office to office asking for leads. Who's got leads? And they were all leads that were like 40,000, 60,000, 50,000, and kind of the neighborhoods that people weren't like wanting to work. Well, guess who they were? They were investors inquiring on these properties. So when I got those lists, I started calling them. I quickly found out they were investors. I'm a high D driver. I'm a hustler. So are they. Business mentality. So we clicked really, really well. And I just hustled investors for the first year of my, my career. And I still work with about 5 of those investors still, like to this day, that I got that first year, hustling them. That was my.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. And it's Mike at our Orlando mastermind,
Yep.
their team, that's what they focused on. It was their first 2 years was investors.
That's it, man. Investors are great. If you can get you a handful of them and build that trust with them and build that relationship with them, man, that's just consistent business.
Right. Awesome. And then what would you, so I know that you said about 7 to 8 days, you're hitting them up, follow up. Those one and done agents aren't really going to cut it. Do you have a 7-day, 8-day script that you use, something you copy and paste? Is it something already automated?
Yeah. So it's our 10 days of pain. So we do 10 days of pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I built my 10 days out of exactly what I wanted to say each touch. Text, email, we have video also built into that campaign, and we run KV Core. So we have smart campaigns. So text, email, video, obviously call. We have a few tasks built into those, but it's a 10-day of pain, 100% already built out.
Gotcha. Would you be willing to share that 10 days of pain?
Yeah, like right now?
No, not right now.
Absolutely, I'll share it 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys want that 10 days of pain, we all about value around here.
Yep.
So make sure I don't know, what do you want them to put in the comments, Mr. Hunnid%? What do you want them to put into the comments to show 10 days of pain? 10 DOP, 10 days of pain. Put that in the comments. We'll go back. That he'll DM you or you DM him or whatever, and you could share that. But and also, guys, share this video with anybody that you think needs to hear that 10 days of pain. Now I want to go back. So started at KW. I started at KW, or actually my second firm, but majority time with KW. And you and I, we met at EXPCon. Yep. And we connected right away because we were like, yo, we're like KW, like former KW people.
Yeah.
And then you were just cool. We were just cool. And plus there was food in front of us. So we were happy already. But what would you say is one of the biggest changes, it probably started in your head first, but running that type of MREA 7-level system, KW style team building, to more of I'm going to put everybody solo and have them build out their own, but still keep it a team thing. Like, what was the transition there? Was it hard to make that transition mentally? Something new? Can you tell me about what that transition felt like and looked like?
Yeah. So honestly, I put them first, my agents first. So mentally, I had to put them first because I've always put not really myself first, but it's always been me, right? And then agents and then admin. So I've kind of been on the top level of that. So I had to put them first and say what's going to benefit them and their families. And the model 100% benefited them solo agents. So mentally, I had to get myself to a point where I was okay with that. And I had to build out the system in my mind, along with talking to other people like yourself and other people that were moving into EXP, how they were doing it. And so mentally, I had to prepare myself to be able to move them solo by putting them first. That, you know what I mean? It's kind of tough to say it like that, but that's just the reality is.
So what you're saying is you're self-centered if you run a 7-level system as a team leader.
No,
I'm messing.
I have to do it like that with the models we have, but no, I'm not saying you're self-centered, but at the end of the day, I had to, I look out for them.
That makes sense. I love that. And then how did your agents take that and say, number one, are you still pushing your brand, or are those agents allowed to push their own brand?
Definitely agents allowed to push their brand. They use my brand, some of them just because they feel comfortable with it. It's always been their brand and they're okay with it. And they just still use my brand. I have 2 agents that still have my email as their brand and their email signature, Mahan Group. Yeah. and it's okay, right? I'm good with it. They're good with it. But I allow them to go out and do their thing, promote themselves, brand themselves, and I'm just here to support it all.
Wow, man, that's awesome. That's something we've looked into, and for any of the agents who run my leads, it's powered by, proven by Ruben.
Mm-hmm.
But they're able to brand themselves. I want them to brand themselves. They would you agree that they have more buy-in on the whole process when it's their business, their brand as well?
No doubt, no doubt, because they feel like it's their business, and also they feel like a partnership. So I feel like it puts a partnership in their mentality, not an employee, right? Because most buyers agents or most agents under team leaders think themselves as like kind of like an employee. They work for that person. And I feel like
Good
this
point.
way they have a partnership, and they, that, makes them feel good. Hey, I'm running my own business, but I also have support by a partner, and it's powered by the Mahan group, or, Ruben, and, whatever you guys are doing. So yeah, man, it works for both parties. It's a win.
Yeah. What has been the biggest aha for your agents in the transition? Have you like what's the biggest aha, like the biggest thing they've taken away from this? And honestly, let's just be transparent, their biggest pain point
Right.
of that transition.
Really fast, because you mentioned it before, my agents were scared to death when I first told them. They weren't on board. They didn't like it. They felt like I was firing them, but at the end of the day, they trusted me. And so I would think that one of the biggest wins for them is they're all capping, they're iconing, right? I mean, they're taking full advantage of what EXP gives a full agent, and everything. So that's a huge win for them, because now they're like, hey, I'm capping and iconing, and this is amazing, with the support. I think the pain is now they have their own marketing budgets. Now they have their own expenses if they want them, right? I mean, not every agent needs big expenses, but they're kind of running my model and our lead gen stuff. And, it takes money, it takes money to do that. So I think, they've always had me to be able to cover that stuff, and they just work them. Now they're like, we understand where you're coming from when you are honest every day about follow up and making sure we're doing these things, because now that we have our own expenses and our marketing budgets, closings matter, conversion matters.
Oh yeah. They
Well,
say if you pay attention. So I'm sure they'll be paying attention to that.
yep. Yep. I love that.
Awesome, man. All right, so where are you guys going now with your team? Where you got? What are you looking at next? What's the next thing that you guys are really chasing in terms of goals?
Yeah. So my agents want to mimic the model that I'm doing, right? Create a lead pipeline, create systems, create that support. And they want to start building out their own little teams. Not the traditional teams, but what I'm doing, and what we've been doing. So I'm helping them do that. Right. So they're like, how do we create a pipeline of leads, a lead pipeline? So we're working on that. How do we be, how do I become a rainmaker? What does that look like?
Mm,
And so I'm coaching and teaching them how to do that. So that's what we're doing right now, man. I have agents that are very, very, want, all in on what I'm doing and what I'm providing for them, and they want to go do it, and
right.
so that's our next goals. And that's what we're doing is we're creating rainmakers right now for them to be able to go out and build out that same
Can you?
system.
Yeah, I love that. Can you explain what a rainmaker is for anybody who doesn't know what that is?
Yeah. So pretty much a rainmaker is the man that generates
Or woman?
or women, sorry, man or woman. I apologize. You're 100% right on that. It's for one that generates a pipeline of leads, right? And whether it's paid, whether it's organically, it doesn't matter. It's a combination of it all. But they are the one that's responsible to create that pipeline of a steady flow. It's a faucet, right? The rainmakers are turn the faucets on.
Right. Okay. Um, Anybody who's watching or listening, if you want to be a rainmaker, go ahead and type in rainmaker in the comments. So, we could I don't know, single you out, point to you, ask if you have questions, and then later maybe even do a quick mastermind on what that looks like. For anybody who wants to be a rainmaker, for anybody who wants to move up to that next step, what would you say are the first few things they need to focus on in order to be a badass rainmaker?
Mindset, right? Mindset. It has to be consistent. You have to do it every day. It has to be your job, right? It has to be your job. And I ask my agents all the time, would you fire yourself? And the answer is probably yes every time, because they don't treat it like a job. And what I mean is, realtors, we don't have job, we have businesses, but every business has a job within that business, right? It's our job to sit down and lead generate, whatever that looks like. Okay. Whether it's Facebook marketing, whether it's paid, Zillow, Realtor.com, your job is to make sure that you are in the right zip codes, that you're generating the right amount of leads, and that you have a system to convert those leads. Whatever it is, right? Your job is to turn that faucet on and do it every day consistently.
And how many people do you reach out to on a daily basis?
With lead conversion or lead generation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
guesstimation doesn't have to be like solid.
Yeah. 100 plus, consistently.
Wow. Okay. And then what's the conversions to reaching out to 100 people? How many of those people reach back out to you, would you say?
So, we have, our system is 6-7 years of test and trial. So, I've got some really good language that I feel like people respond to. And so we have a pretty high conversion rate. But Ruben, it really depends on the lead source. I combine them all, right? So like my Realtor.com lead source converts a lot higher than my Facebook leads, or our Facebook Marketplace lead gen, because we do a lot on Facebook Marketplace. But I would say on an average, we're probably at 20%, response rate. And then probably off of that 20%, we're probably at 12%, actual conversion rate from there, in terms of, them knowing we're a realtor, them having some type of, goal to buy or sell within the near future. And that's what we really go off of in terms of conversion. Is just because we talk to them, we don't really count it as conversion. That's fine. But, do they have a goal to buy or sell?
Right.
Do they know we're a realtor and that we're going to help them?
Right.
That's we're after.
Right. What would you say is your top three? Because it sounds like you have some funnels from a few places. What are your top 3 lead generation, highest conversion sources?
So Realtor.com, number 1, hands down. We're at a 60 conversion rate.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hands
Interesting.
down.
Our go ahead.
We kill it with Realtor.com.
Yeah. So it was good that the National Association of Realtors sold us out, because now they're making a ton of money.
Yeah. I don't know. I know it builds our business, and I know ROI through the roof. So
that's awesome. What's number 2?
Outbound circle prospecting listings.
Okay. And for anybody who's watching, what's circle prospecting?
So what we do is we get a neighborhood, and we create a list of people, and it's cold calling, right? But we do it around open houses. We do it around just listed, just sold, right? And so we have a purpose for the circle prospecting. And so we create that purpose, and then we do basically cold call, circle prospect around a listing.
Right. Do all your agents get on that, or is it just you, or is it VAs as well? What does that look like?
VA, myself, VAs, I have agents on it. And so there's a combination of about 4 or 5 of us that are just hitting it. But awesome. We do say that does it literally 8 hours a day.
Wow. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
And then what's the cost to her or him?
Yeah. So it's a base plus a bonus structure. And cool. Structure is appointments met, not set, but appointments met. So they've got to set quality appointments. We've got to get in front of them, right? I mean, they have to know that we're a realtor come to talk to them about listing their home. and they've got to express interest. And there's some questions that we have, the ISA has, that the virtual assistant has, that have to be answered before, that appointment can be set. And,
Right.
one of the main things is that they have to express an interest of selling within the next 6 months. They have to be okay and open to a realtor coming and speaking to them about selling their home. And so there's a few others, but those are the main two. If they're open to a realtor coming and talk to them, and they have a goal to sell their home within the next 6 months, then that's the trigger to go ahead and set that appointment. And so we bonus them on appointments met.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I bet that's great marketing for your listings, right? When you want to get more listings, this is one thing you do, is circle prospect, try to look for more buyers and all of that. And that's just that one level higher than maybe what a lot of agents are doing in your market. And then what would you say is number 3?
So number 3 is going to be a combination of our KV core, our property boosts, which are, Facebook ads on single properties. We do squeeze pages, which is a funnel through KV core. And so Facebook ads, and then just organic lead gen through KV core. That's number 3.
Got it. Okay.
It's free. So we just do it every day, all day at a high level. And so
you said what? It was free?
Or it's organic lead gen, right, through KV core. So, we're not spending tons of money, if any, to be able to do that. It's just time.
But KV core is not free for you, is it?
So KV core is included into our EXP package.
Oh,
so
that was just just a slight little throw in there. All right. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I want to ask you a few quick questions. Okay.
Yep.
Which I guess I've already been doing this, but I've got some questions right here I'd like to ask you.
All right.
What do you believe separates excellent from average?
Wow, it's a great question. So I talked about this for a second, mindset, right? Mindset and treating the people who are excellent at something. They have a mindset of, I'm going to master this. I'm going to become a master at whatever that is, right? Whether it's lead gen, whether it's listing presentations, whether it's scripting, becoming a very good scripter, a very good communicator. When you're excellent at something, you master it. You do it every day consistently, and you train yourself to be a master at that. And that's the difference between somebody who's excellent and average.
Yeah.
They have average effort, or they have average mindset. Excellent people have put in excellent effort.
Yeah, that goes back to what you said in the beginning. Focus on that one thing, and then really become really, really great at that one thing in the very beginning.
Yep.
I love that. And there's a quote, and I'm sure I'm gonna screw this up. I know, love him or hate him, but I heard Donald Trump. He said something like, one of the worst things in terms of employees that you could have in your business is a good employee. And I was like, what is he talking about? He was like, because the ones that aren't good, the ones that just aren't there, you could fire them. You can always fire them. Then you got those excellent that show up and just crush it every day. And obviously those are the people you want to keep around and promote. He was like, the most dangerous person is just the good average one. They're not bad enough where you could fire them, but they're not good enough to where you could promote them. They just kind of float. And I was like, dang, that's a good way of looking at it. So it's not good. Don't stay in that average world, push higher, break that level, get uncomfortable, or get fired. But I got some other questions for you.
All right.
Do you have a favorite failure that you believe has set you up for success?
Man, I think I failed. You know what? I don't know that it's. Of course, I failed a lot. So I mean, just right off the bat, there's tons of things that I can think about. But I looked how teams and people operated that I didn't want to emulate and be like, and then I just did opposite of that. And so I failed fast, I failed forward, and so I can go on and on about my failures, and I can't really think of one that really bound, that. But that one thing right there is when I set my mindset to say, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm not going to do it like that. I'm not going to do it like that. And then I turn around and did opposite, like traditional teams. When I allowed my agents to list homes, there are people like, what are you doing? You have buyer's agents. You're the listing agent. You're this, you're that. I'm like, no, that's the way you do it. Right. And when I was on a team and I wasn't able to list, I left, and I didn't want agents to leave. Right. So I said, you know what? And I think I would have failed if I would have done it your way, in my opinion. Not that
Man,
you guys fail, but I just think of it differently. Right. And so
I love that, man. And you had to kind of down that path of the path that is already built and you should follow. You took a left, you pulled out your
yeah,
hatchet, and you just started like making your own path. I remember when I was the team leader for the KW office, there was a few things I saw people leaving a team. It was because the buyer's agent couldn't list listings,
mm-hmm.
and they wanted to list their friends, their family's listings, so they left. They wanted to build their own brand.
Yep.
And the split. They were tired of that, for some teams, it's a larger split. And so same deal. We got rid of those three things, built our own team, and it's doing great.
Boom.
But you
Boom.
got to listen to the market. I don't understand why the market is talking to you every single day. Are you going to listen, or are you too romantic about a certain model? Like you have to be able to adjust. I mean, look at the world now. Do you think anybody saw this coming? No, you got to adjust.
All right.
So I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. I'm going to still beat you up. You good?
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, let's see. What profession other than your own would be fun to attempt?
Oh, wow. What profession other than my own? I've outside of sales, that's a tough question. So I always wanted to be an NBA player, but I'm too short and slow, so I definitely couldn't do that. Man,
Muggsy Bogues though. Muggsy Bogues, but he wasn't slow though.
True, that's true. He wasn't slow though. I was a good basketball player, but I wasn't anywhere near that. I always wanted to be an NBA player. Honestly, outside of my industry, and I don't know what business this would want to be, but I kind of in my early 20s, I wanted to be like a CEO of a major Fortune 500 company, just run a massive company, and something Coke, I don't know, Budweiser or something, but I felt that was something that was in my vision. I was like, I want to work my way up to being a CEO of a major Fortune 500 company. So that would be something that that would intrigue me to do if I wasn't in my industry.
Do you see
Sure.
yourself moving up in leadership in some facet in EXP?
That's something that I've been tossing around. Definitely. I needed to get my business model that I wanted to create in my mind going into EXP planted. I wanted to get the foundation built, a big foundation built where the system can just kind of run itself, create some other rainmakers within my organization to help me with that. And so we're doing that. And so once that's to a point where I feel like it's at the sustainability that I like, then yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely the next step in my career is getting into something like that for sure.
Man, I feel you. I think we're going to be shoulder to shoulder, man, or elbow to elbow, arm to
Yeah.
arm, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'll
love,
be right there with you, man. All
I
right.
love.
All right. Let's see. Oh, what is a mistake you're seeing? Now, we've already kind of covered that. I'm going to move on. Purchases of less than $100 that has most improved your life.
Man, like I really hate to say this, but I I bought into a Grant Cardone class for $97. And it didn't really change my life, but it changed a lot of my mindset. Like, honestly, that the 10X mindset is just something powerful if you really just open your mind to it and you really dive into it. $97. It was about 2 years ago. And man, it changed everything for me. I started thinking bigger and dreaming bigger and setting way bigger goals. And I know that's cliche to say with all going on right now, but I'm my agents that were around at that time, they can vouch for this, because we dove into that course that, you know, it's like I don't know how many week course it is, but we dove into it as a group and as a team, and we all bounced off. We went down and then poof, way up, just diving into that, buying into the mindset of the 10X, right? And I think that's really what it is it's a mindset. It's a buy-in, right? It's a buy-in mindset.
100%. And Catherine down in Florida just got, and she's going to be joining EXP as well. She said, love the big goals concept. You know, when I was reading the 10X growth or 10X growth con, the 10X book, there was something in there that's always stuck out. And he said, success is not a commodity. And so if you dive deep into that, what he meant, and he went deeper into it too, but I'm going to act like I just thought of this and look a lot smarter. I was like, what he meant was, it's not a product that you can buy on the shelf. Success is not a product you could buy on the shelf, meaning there's no supply and demand, meaning you're not going to run in a shortage of success. You can't. It's not a thing. It's not a commodity. So that only tells you there's an abundant and an infinite amount of success, meaning anybody could get it. It's just not a commodity. It's not something you could buy and then limits the supply of. I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it does opens your mind to, like, it's not a limited thing, you know, and anybody could grab it. Anybody can move into it, but you have to buy into it. Like you said.
Absolutely. Tons of agents come to me and said they want success. This person, they're watching these other people and they want to do the same thing. And I'm like, well, are you? Right? Like, you're watching them and you're talking about it, but are you doing the same activities? Because obviously they're doing it right because you're watching, you see them. And so they're doing the right thing of making, doing whatever that you're watching, but they don't want to do those same activities. Just like you said, you can't go just buy it. Like, they can't come to me and me just give them success, right? It's like, there's no exchange here. There is, which is hard work, consistency of hard work, mindset, buy-in, right? All that, but there's no, hey, give me $500 and I'm exchange you success, like those big coaching programs, Tom Ferry and all those, which are great. Like, I'm not knocking them at all because I've been in them, right? I've been in them. But I think a lot of people, even myself, went into it, right? Like, I'm gonna join Tom Ferry. I'm gonna give him, $1,500. He's gonna give me success. Right?
Yeah. Didn't happen. They were like, oh, now it's your turn to put in the work, fool.
Right.
Well, and that's why I thought that was such a good quote in that book. Yep. And obviously there's so much more in that book, but that's the one that was like, oh, man. And I was a team leader at KW at that time. And I did a team meeting on just that quote, because I was like, it shook me, man. It shook me.
That's awesome. I love that quote. I'm gonna steal it, and I'm gonna talk to my team about that, because that's a mic drop right there. I love it.
Hey, I stole it. So, all right, 2 more questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1, what question do you have for me?
So, yeah, man. I guess my question for you is, and me and you, we've talked a lot about this, and we emulate our businesses. But let me throw back the transition of the Keller Williams model to what you're doing now. Is now that you're in this real estate business industry, you moved from Keller Williams over to here, and you're still running the same team model. What's the difference the one biggest difference you see with your agents in terms of the way you ran it, the traditional model from the way you're doing it now?
Yeah, so I'll say this. I never had, so I helped grow a team at KW. In our first year, we did a little over 12 million in volume, and I think price point was like 140 at that time in our area. But after that, I became team leader, productivity coach, all that. So I never built the type of structure I have now.
But you saw it, right? Like you had people doing.
I was
Yeah,
100%, and I was in it.
Yeah.
Man, there's definitely a lot more ownership on the agents. And once you take ownership of anything, you have the power to change it. The challenge was when we see agents who join that type of team, they wouldn't take ownership of, like you said earlier, of not all of them, of course, but sometimes not take ownership of leads, not take ownership of the process we built, the systems we built. Sometimes not take ownership of having the admin support. They wanted to do it themselves. Just all that. Now they have the freedom to create the type of world they want to create. And because of that, you don't cap their vision, which only puts them in a position to take on more ownership of their own destiny. You're just kind of the person who helps them hit that point and beyond. So for me, it's been such a big change and like rewarding to watch these agents do what they do. But also on my end, I've got more freedom. I'm not as micromanaging everything. It's just freedom. A lot more weights lifted. I told somebody, and I don't want anybody from KW to take it the wrong way. I love KW, man. I still have amazing friends. We had a KW guy at our mastermind. Like, I mean, none of that matters. But I'll say, man, the weight that was lifted, I felt like lighter because I didn't have to follow certain procedures and stuff. I had more freedom. So it was awesome. But yeah, great question. Thank you. Can you hear? You're muted, man.
My bad. Love it. Sorry about that.
You're good. All right. And then last question. What question do you have for everybody who's listening, everybody who will watch this later, because I'm going to re-upload it and all this on a different platform, all this good stuff. But for the people who are listening to it later, maybe in their car, maybe they just need to hear some Hunnid Percent guy. Like, what's the thing you're going to drop for them? What's the question you have for everybody who's listening?
What's your commitment level? What's your commitment level to the success that you want? Not everybody has the same level of success that they want, or same goals or same big goals, but it don't matter if your goals are big or small. What level of commitment do you have to hit those goals? And do you have the right mindset to do it? There's no magic blue pill, right? Just like we talked about, there's no exchange. What there is there's hard work and there's commitment, right? And there's consistency of that. And are you committed to have the right mindset? And are you committed to have the right consistency to be able to hit those goals? So are you committed? Are you committed to doing that? That's my question. And what level of commitment is that? It starts with mindset. Create your good mindset, and what's your why?
Yeah. So I'll say this for anybody who just heard that question: don't choose 5. If you chose 5, take that back out. It's got to be 4 or lower, 6 or higher. There's people who get comfortable and like, well, I'll choose in the middle. You can't. All right. So what if do you mind if we just like real quick role play on this, and then I'll let you go?
Sure.
So what if I said I'm at a 6? I'm at a 6 with my commitment level. What would you tell somebody like me?
Yeah. So you're just above average, right? So you're just above average. If we're doing, a commitment of 10, with 5 being average, your commitment level's just above average. And so you're going to get just above average results, right? And your goals are going to be just above average. And so if we're setting big goals and we want to build success, 6 isn't going to cut it. How can we get you to 9? how can we get you to 9? Because I can work with 9, right? I can work with 9. I can probably even work with 8 to get you to that 10. But 6, 6 is just above average. I don't, we've got to do something to get you to 8 or 9 to start with, because then we got to get to 10.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what I heard there was you said I can work with 8. Maybe I could definitely work with 9. So you're putting yourself in a position, you're almost holding the standard for yourself that you put so much commitment into your work. Somebody else who's sitting across from you has to put in that same, or at least around that same type of commitment, no matter what it is in the business, but they got to come with that type of commitment. I
Yeah,
love that standard.
absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it, and if not, that's fine. I'll still be here for you. But I'll be here at a 6 level, not a 9, 8 or 9 or 10 level.
That's
Right?
sick. I want people to know, like, if you are driving, if you're listening to this later, and Mr. Hunnid Percent isn't near you, then you do have somebody around you, and they're only going to give you a level 6 commitment. You're probably wondering, why aren't they showing up more for you? Why aren't they there for you? Why haven't they reached? How much commitment have you given to the process? How much have you showed up? That goes back to that ownership thing, right? Once you take ownership, you could change the situation. Man, just look at your circle. And if you're making reasons why that person hasn't reached out to you, what level commitment have you showed up to that person in that conversation? That's the same type of commitment you're going to get from them. Sick.
That's it.
Sick.
That's it.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
jumping on for everybody watching and all your people too. I tagged you in it, so make sure you share it. But that was awesome, dude. I appreciate that. The nuggets that are in there in those comments. We got some of those 10 days of pain people that would love to hear from you.
I'll drop.
You're the
Yeah.
man. I appreciate it, brother. Any last things you want to say?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Love being in different audiences. So you're on next with me, man. So we'll set it. So we'll continue to do that. Love it. Appreciate it. And we'll holler at you.
Awesome, man. They can follow you on Instagram, right? They can follow your story on Instagram.
They can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever I'm on both platforms consistently.
What's your Instagram handle?
I'm on those stories now.
I know you are.
I'm on those stories. So my Instagram, it's William Mahan.
Okay. I think you're looking it up, aren't you? Because your screen went away.
I am. Man, I'm not big on that stuff. I have it, I use it, but I don't know. It's just William Mahan. You can find me that way.
All right, we'll do it that way. All right, brother. Thank you so much for jumping on, man.
All right, brother. We'll holler at you later.
All right, see ya.